standing by. The Terry and Ted podcast is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada, now with over 400 locations across Canada.
Hi there, I'm Terry DiMonte. That's Ted Bird. This is the Standing By podcast for Wednesday, the 21st of January. And we're recording it on Ted's birthday. Happy birthday, Ted Bird.
Thank you very much.
Hey, how about that?
Pretty exciting, eh?
It is.
I still get excited about my birthday.
You should get
I'm
excited.
142 and I'm still like, hey, it's my birthday.
Did you get your hairs cut for your birthday?
Well, I've got my hair cut a couple of days ago.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're looking suave. You got plans? You doing some kind of bash or
Nothing big. I'm going to go to Cunningham's for the greatest chicken wings in the history of the world in St. Anne de Bellevue with Charlie and Allie.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes.
2 out of my 4 kids.
Yeah.
I heard from Sam. Nothing from Paris yet. Standing by.
Yeah. Well, it's a time difference there.
Yeah.
The day is, the day is almost done.
The day is old.
I'm sure she's standing by.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Good for you. We should say hi to Pete Marier. Gosh, we were just talking about Pete Marier is a guy who's been a radio stalwart for 1,000 years and still works at Shome. And when I walked into the studio this morning, he was on the phone with Ted to wish Ted a happy birthday.
Yeah.
God love him.
We've known Pete for going on 40 years.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one of the first times I met Pete. We were working at the old Mix 96. Well, back then it was even known as FM 96 on Fort Street. And it was a winter day, and I came in, and I had this long winter coat that was all puffy. It was from Finland. It was a good Finnish winter coat, but it was very puffy. And I walked in, and Pete looked at me, and he goes, he says, "Wore your sleeping bag to work, eh, Ted?"
God love you, Pete.
Yeah.
I was saying, there's a kindness in his voice when you talk to him. Eh? There's a warmth and a kindness.
He's a good man.
God love you, Pete Marier. The podcast is sponsored by our title sponsor, the UPS Store Canada. The UPS Store Canada has over 400 locations in every corner of the country. When I clicked on the website this morning, for some reason, the location on Blundell Road in Richmond, British Columbia came up. I don't know why. Perhaps I was searching something in British Columbia. Anyway, there are 400 locations all across the country. There's one near you, I promise. Go to the Small Business Blog if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for more resources for your small business. The blog can be very, very helpful. There are 2 posts up right now at the upsstore.ca. Top 5 trends small businesses should watch in 2026. And they've got a very handy shipping guide to the U.S. Shipping to the U.S., let UPS guide you. There's an article there on the complications that have arisen from events in the world in the last year. UPS will guide you through that. That's what they do. They solve problems. Everything from if you need a couple of extra moving boxes or you're looking for a new mailbox because you're tired of all the stuff coming to your house, they can set you up with that. They can even help you with a passport picture if you're traveling. And you will find all the locations closest to you when you go to the UPS Store Canada website. It's the upsstore.ca. And remember, you can save up to an additional 30% on domestic ground shipping if you go to the website. Well, it's what?
Our great and good friend David Drucker, who's the president and CEO of UPS Store, also sent me a birthday wish. He said, "Happy birthday, old man."
That's great.
And I said, what? Can't hear you.
Did you got a lot already on social media? You can get swamped.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it really is, because social media will remind people.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad about that, because sometimes I get reminded of, close friends or acquaintances, and Facebook will say, "Hey, it's Billy Bob's birthday today." And I often send a text and say, "I have to confess, Facebook reminded me."
Yeah, well, I mean, and Billy Bob's not going to hold it against you if you unless he's 3 and he's your own kid.
Then he's got
he
a
might
point.
have reason for resentment.
Yeah.
My son Sam texted me this morning and said, "Any advice for the younger generation?" And I said, "Trust your instincts and do the next right thing, and try to do that before you're 60.
Good advice
Yeah.
from a man who's traveled the road.
Well, yeah, learn from your mistakes,
Sure.
I guess, is another way of putting that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Smart people do that. Speaking of Facebook, I'm going to take this occasion to say thank you to literally thousands of people who expressed their condolences on the passing of my dad. Last week, when we were in here recording, if you listen to the podcast right till the very end, you may have noticed that I dedicated the episode to my father. My father passed away on Saturday, January the 10th. The week prior to that, on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, excuse me, I was in Arnprior with my dad and my brother and my sister. My dad had some health challenges and was on the way to recovery. He was getting stronger, and when I left him on Friday, I kissed him on the forehead and told him I loved him and told him to stay strong and that I would see him next week. Excuse me. And on Saturday, around the dinner hour, I got the phone call that my father had passed away in his sleep at the hospital. And a lot of people have asked me about why I was shocked. My dad was 89. My dad was 89 and had some health challenges, but Ted will tell you he was strong like ox and a very, very determined man and was on his way to recovery, and his heart gave out.
He played hockey until he was 86, did he not?
Correct.
And
Yeah.
was angry at the doctor when the doctor told him you can't play anymore.
Yeah. When his health challenges began, he said to the doctor, when do you think I can get back on skates? And I think at that point he was 87. And the doctor said, Mr. DiMonte, you're going to have to start acting your age, because the doctor said to him, a fall at your age on a hockey rink will do you in. Anyway, our family is, I've never been through it. And I can only tell you when I got the phone call, I can only describe the pain as like 1,000 knives stabbing me in the stomach. It was horrific, absolutely awful. And we spent a day sort of keeping it to ourselves. And then we made a post, my sister Donna, my brother Dean, and my mom all made posts on our Facebook page, as did I. And literally thousands of people extended their condolences. And I couldn't and can't, I thought I can't acknowledge, I'll be here for a day and a half, trying to acknowledge the 2,000 plus people that sent notes. But I want you to know, the family read every single one of them, every one of them. And it's true what they say. It's a balm for the pain. It's a balm for the ache. All of the notes of condolences, all the nice memories from friends and people who knew my father really, really did help. And we're deeply, deeply grateful. My dad was not the kind, he was the kind of man that there are no parades for. There are no news articles about. But he was the kind of man that the world doesn't work without men like my father.
No, as I said last week, he was the kind of man that other men should aspire to be more like.
Yes. Yeah,
He
which
was-
was a lovely compliment.
Yeah, he was married to and faithful to the same woman for 68 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their 69th anniversary comes up in a couple of
Blue
weeks.
collar work ethic.
Yeah.
Everything for the family.
Everything.
Everything for the family.
His whole life was dedicated to his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from his children to his grandchildren
Yeah.
to his great grandchildren.
You know,
That was the greatest joy in his life.
it was the kind of man who, I remember one time my dad played hockey. My dad loved the game of hockey so much. And at one point when he was a young guy, like many other Canadian kids, wanted to be a hockey player. And of course, wasn't able to make that dream happen, especially in the era of 6 teams. And he continued to play, as Ted pointed out, till he was nearly 87 years old. And I remember when I was a teenager in Pierrefonds, my dad played 3 times a week. And one morning I got up for school and went into the kitchen, and my father appeared with a giant cast with blood coming out of it on his shoulder. And I said, Dad, what happened? He said, Christ, I broke my collarbone. And I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to work. Where do you think I'm going? That's the kind of man he was. He was a work ethic. Like, that's where I learned my work ethic. That's where my moral compass comes from. My dad was our North Star, and the family's really, really devastated. And I could spend all day paying tribute to him. Like I said, the kind of man that was a special, special man, family man, and a man there wouldn't be, any, like I said, there's no parades for men of my father's ilk, but the world is diminished by his departure. It really is.
When you called me and told me the news, I thought about when I got that call in 1992 about my father, and we were at work, and you said, boy, that's a call that I dread.
Yeah.
That was 34 years ago today.
And it's a vivid memory, eh?
Recording. But 34 years ago, and that's not to diminish your father's passing.
No.
Boy, were you fortunate to have him.
Yeah.
For as long as you did. And people tell me that about my mom. My mom's 92, and people say you're so lucky that you still have her.
My sister and my brother and I are trying to focus on that. Not only did we have a very special man who was a great father, but we had him for a long time. And I got what I consider a gift from them. They had me when they were 21, which means I had 68 years of time with him. And I don't think you're ever prepared for their departure, but at 68, I'm probably a little more prepared than I would have been at 18 or 28, which is a gift in itself. And we're trying to stay focused on the gratitude that not only did we have a man like Dad as a father, but we had him for as long as we did. And I hesitated about speaking about it, but so many people knew my dad passed away. And as you pointed out, we came and recorded the podcast a couple of days after I got the news. And I thought we would address it because it's universal. Everybody goes through it. At one point, you go through it. And grief is a funny thing.
Well, he deserves the recognition, and he would probably tell us to pipe down.
He would. He would ask me to knock it off for sure. I want to share this with you. If you've recently lost somebody or are going through what our family's going through, my sister's good friend Liz sent her this, and I'm going to read it because I think it's pretty powerful, and it meant a lot to me. And if you've recently lost somebody, I don't know who the author is, but I'm going to read this. As for grief, you'll find it comes in waves. When the ship is first wrecked, you're drowning with wreckage all around you. Everything floating around you reminds you of the beauty and the magnificence of the ship that was and is no more. And all you can do is float. You find some piece of the wreckage and you hang on for a while. Maybe it's a physical thing. Maybe it's a happy memory or a photograph. Maybe it's a person who is also floating. And for a while, all you can do is float and stay alive. In the beginning, the waves are 100 feet tall and crash over you without mercy. They come 10 seconds apart. They don't even give you time to catch your breath. All you can do is hang on and float. After a while, maybe weeks, maybe months, you'll find the waves are still 100 feet tall, but they come further apart. And when they come, they still crash all over you and wipe you out. But in between, you can breathe, you can function. You never know what's going to trigger the grief. It might be a song, a picture, a street intersection, the smell of a cup of coffee. It can be just about anything. And the wave comes crashing. But in between waves, there's life. Somewhere down the line, and it's different for everybody, you find that the waves are only 80 feet tall or 50 feet tall. And while they still come, they come further apart. You can see them coming, an anniversary, a birthday or Christmas, or landing at the airport. You can see it coming for the most part, and you can prepare yourself. And when it washes over you, you know that somehow you will again come out the other side, soaking wet, sputtering, still hanging on to some tiny piece of the wreckage, but you will come out. Take it from this old guy. The waves never stop coming. And somehow you really don't want them to, but you learn that you'll survive them, and other waves will come, and you'll survive those too. If you're lucky, you have lots of scars from lots of love and lots of shipwrecks. I thought that was a really apt description. A little bit long, sorry about that.
No, it's very nice.
I thought it was quite beautiful.
Very nice.
Anyway, thank you again for the kindness, the notes, the emails, the letters, and we deeply appreciate your kindness. And I don't need to tell you that we're gobsmacked, and we're just putting one foot in front of the other for now.
Well, I'm looking forward to next Saturday and the celebration of your father's life.
Thank you for coming.
I think that's going to be good.
I think so too.
I think it's going to be healing.
I think so too. What was really nice in his hockey buddies that he played with in Cornwall, they had a luncheon after they played last week, and before the game they stopped and had a moment of silence in his honor.
Nice.
And I thought that was really something. That was this is the kind of thing that my dad didn't understand. Pete mentioned it. Pete expressed his condolences, Pete Mary, when he was on the phone a half an hour ago, and he says he remembers meeting my dad at the I think he said at the time, I guess it was the Molson Center or the Forum.
Yeah, it was a public skate.
Yeah, we had a skate with the radio station.
Right.
And he said he remembers my dad and his kindness, but what he really remembers my dad for is the way he paid attention to Pete's younger kids.
Yeah.
That was my father. And we've been getting all kinds of stories from friends and stuff. It's amazing when you do things and you live a life the way my father lived his life. He didn't live it so that he would teach other people, but he did. His effect
Well, he was an
wide.
example.
Yeah, exactly as you described.
Yeah, he set an example.
Yeah.
He didn't preach.
Yeah.
He just he was a power of example.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You talked about how you got your moral compass from him. You got your personality from your mom.
Yeah,
your dad was much more reserved.
Yeah,
than you are.
Yeah.
But your mom is a ball of fire.
Yeah, and people remember every Christmas I would call my family. So my mom and dad would kind of be on the radio, but it would be my mom.
Yeah.
With my dad.
It's Terry.
My dad in the background going,
Merry
Christmas. He didn't like the spotlight. He didn't want to be on the radio. Anyway, the whole podcast is not going to be about the passing of my father, but the podcast is dedicated to my dad. We miss him. Okay. And we should also mention, we should send our condolences to the family of Phil Goyette. Phil Goyette, famous Montreal Canadian, passed away at 92.
I met him about 10 years ago, and he showed me his Stanley Cup ring.
Yeah.
And it was on his pinky finger, and it wasn't the big bling ring.
Yeah.
Like they get today.
Yeah.
It was just this tiny little modest ring that said like Stanley Cup champion 1952 or whatever the year was. Yeah. And a real gentleman.
Yeah.
Like he approached me. It was when we worked at CJAD, so he knew, those older guys, I'll listen to CJAD.
Yeah.
I remember Dickie Moore coming up to me in the press box and going, I listen to you every day. And I'm like, well, you're Dickie Moore.
Those guys didn't know that we're like, as they're approaching us, we're like, Jesus Christ, Dickie Moore. That's that was those Stanley Cup rings of that era. That was before the gaudy era.
Yeah.
They were just
very modest,
much like the players.
Yeah, exactly.
Very modest.
Yeah.
So in those days,
low key.
I think a lot of the players worked in the off season.
Yeah, I think they did too, to supplement their income.
Yeah,
I happened to see a video came up on I think it was my Facebook Reels last night, of a Canadians game from 1977.
I love these.
Yeah. But the game was slower.
Yeah.
It was like I'm watching and I'm going, holy smokes.
Yeah. I think that's why when I watch the game today, I recognize the speed of the game has changed. But to me, the ice is cluttered. You know, they always seem to be in a bunch. And when you watch a game from the Forum from like 1979, the rink seems more open, and the passes are longer, and I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the speed.
Game today, though.
Yeah,
the speed and the skill.
The skill is off the charts.
The skill is off the charts, and the decision making, the split-second decision making with the passing is just unbelievable. And a lot of these guys are like 19.
Yeah, I know.
You know, talk about natural ability.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeez.
We're gonna we'll do that. Yeah, I'll tell you the hockey. What? Bobby Dallas is going to be a guest in the coming weeks on the podcast. We're going to talk to him about the state of the game. That's what I wanted to mention.
16-year National Hockey League veteran and basically a life in hockey. 50 years now in hockey as a player and a coach in North America and in Europe as well. Bobby knows the game.
Yeah.
We're going to get some insight from him, his insight on what's happening at the developmental level, whether it's good or bad.
He's played for almost everybody.
Yeah, he played for 9 NHL teams.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was an original Anaheim Mighty Duck.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think they got him in the expansion
to talk
draft.
to him.
Yeah, and a good guy.
Yeah,
and a smart guy.
Yeah, and I like him as a broadcaster.
Yeah,
hearing him on the radio, I like him as a broadcaster.
Yeah,
and he paid us a nice compliment on Instagram. Did you see that?
I did, but I don't remember what it was because that was days ago.
It was standing by. It was a standing by post, and his comment was, "I think Montreal's best kept secret. These guys are great."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought that
Bob.
was lovely. And do you want to talk about? I was going to talk about January and how it sucks.
You find like weather-wise or generally speaking,
yeah. Well, I've realized now we moved up north to the Laurentians, and it's like living in a snow globe. I said to Jess, if I brush this car off one more,
it's been the same in the city. It snows every day.
Yeah.
Like there haven't been any or many big storms, but it snows every goddamn day.
I know,
and I'm sick of brushing the snow off my car.
That's what I'm doing. I get. Bought myself a new snow brush, very exciting this year. And
that is exciting at our age.
And look, I got one of those extendo brushes.
Ooh, look at you.
How about that?
Yeah.
I spent the big bucks, and I brushed the car like this. You goddamn mother snow. And also, January is the month where they start talking about tax time. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about taxes in January.
Well, I got an email from Retraite Quebec.
Yeah, me too.
And
your statement's here.
But I can't sign into the goddamn thing. You know? Yeah. They say, okay, if you send a thing to if you've forgotten your code, send the email to this thing. So I send it, okay, your email has been sent. Well, no, it hasn't. I don't have it. It could take up to 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes are up. Where the fuck is my email?
What do you think happens? Because we're now at that point in life that our parents were at with the VCR and the 12 flashing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
and we were like, come on, geez, how can you not figure this out?
Yeah.
And now if I give my phone or my computer to my wife, who's younger than I am, she's like, what's wrong with you? How come you figured that out?
This is why either you have children or you marry young.
For the IT department.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'll have someone close to you who knows what you're doing.
Yeah,
they're doing.
Who's doing what now? I find that January is, it starts with, hey, fatso, you want to join a gym? And don't forget, tax time is coming. It won't stop snowing. There's our birthdays. That helps a little bit. But also the increase mail starts to come. Dear customer, as of March 1st, blah, 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 I just got something from the bank saying, we're down to our last 5 billion, so we're going to be increasing the fees for this, that, and the other thing. January is full of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the gym because I swim on the regular at the Point Claire Aquatic Center, which I now call the Hong Kong Aquatic Center, because I have observed the
change in demographic
change.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there's always a surge the first 2 weeks of January.
Yeah.
It's the same at AA meetings.
Yeah.
There's a surge.
Yeah.
And you can always tell who's going to be there in February and
Right.
who's not. Not going to make it, not going to make
Yeah.
it, not going to make it, not going to make it.
Soap it works.
Yeah.
Soap it works. That's an inside gag between Ted and I.
Yeah.
It's an old story.
Yeah.
Of somebody who.
The guy who took a beginner's chip
Yeah.
at an AA meeting, and he showed up at the meeting drunk. Took his newcomer chip and went, let's hope it works.
Hope it works.
Never saw him again.
God love him wherever he may be. Let's talk about our pal Sugar Sammy, shall we? I'm personal friends with Sugar Sammy, and I'm biased. I can't begin to describe to you what a good and decent man he is. He's just such a nice guy, and happens to have a talent that's unbelievable. He's so funny and so talented. And when Ted says he's so likable, I can tell you from personal experience as his friend, he is so down to earth, feet on the ground, nice man. And that's why he's great with the audience.
And there's a cure for the January blahs right there.
No kidding, right there. Yep.
He's got a run of Montreal shows that begin tonight, as in Wednesday, January 21st, the day of the recording. Single tickets only, still available for tonight and tomorrow night, Thursday the 22nd, and low ticket alerts for the rest of his run through the coming weekend. So get thee to sugarsammy.com toot sweet if you want to go see Sammy during January. He's also got shows late January in Quebec City. 4 shows, 2 of which are sold out.
Yeah.
So hop to it, sugarsammy.com for tickets. After Montreal and Quebec, he's going to do a 21-city U.S. tour. He's already got shows scheduled for the fall in Montreal. You can see those on his website. And he's already got shows scheduled for 2027.
Yeah.
Like 2026 is 3 weeks old, and he's already booking shows for 2027.
Yeah. I could not do that for a living because I guess you have to have people to keep your schedule.
I think he has
together.
people, yeah.
Because
I don't think he has a lot of people.
No, he doesn't.
But he has help.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Mrs. Sugar Sammy helps a lot.
Yeah, she really does. But if you ask me where I'm going to be in August, I'm like, what? What? I don't know. Sugarsammy.com. You can see a lot of the clips there, by the way. If you've never seen him, you can go watch some of the clips on his website, give you an idea of what you're in for. And if you've seen him before, go see him again. As Ted points out, a great anecdote for the January blahs.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to mention again, I got no vested interest in the Maine. I really don't. I just read it every week. I put my money where my mouth is, and I subscribed. It was not expensive. The Maine is an online magazine. If it was 1988 and this magazine came out, I would buy it every week. It's beautifully put together. It has some really fascinating stories. And this particular past week, we were talking about the fish tits. What was it called? The fish...
Operation Fish Tits. No, it was Operation Fish.
I couldn't work for them, obviously.
Yeah, the well-kept secret and little-known story of all of Britain's bullion and hard currency, and basically all of Britain's money being transferred across the Atlantic Ocean and stored underneath the Sun Life building.
Yeah, it's...
I had no idea.
It's like Churchill brought his wallet over.
Yeah.
Because in the story I was reading a couple of weeks ago in the Maine, Churchill was preparing for where he was going to go if Britain had fallen.
To be the government in exile.
And he was going to run the
administer the government in exile.
from Montreal.
Yeah.
Good cigars, plenty of brandy.
Yeah.
He would have been in good shape.
Did you see the note we got from Enzo?
Yes, I'm glad you found it.
Yeah,
because-
Enzo Corelli said, "Hi guys, I work for Sun Life at the building. There are public tours, 1.5 hours. They talk about the history of the building and Operation Fish in detail. And they bring you down to the vaults and show you where they stored Britain's fortune." He says it's a highly recommended tour.
Sun Life Building, if you've never been, even if you're not going for fish tits, go for the tour. I mean, just go in the building.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite building in the city. It's in my opinion, the most beautiful building in the city. At one time, it was the tallest building in the city.
And where is it?
It's at the corner of Halibut and Swish.
Okay.
No, it's between René Lévesque and St. Catherine on... Shame on me.
By Peel Street. Is it Peel, Dominion Square, around there? You're looking it up now?
I am.
Yeah.
Metcalf.
Metcalf, there you go.
Sun Life Building, 1155 Metcalf. Shame on me as a Montrealer for not knowing that.
Listen.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to do?
Well, I know. I don't know what you're
Well,
doing.
we should go. We should go and take that tour right after we do the REM.
Yeah, we should go in and
all
say
the things we keep saying we're going to do.
Yeah,
let's put that on the list.
We're here for the fish tits. Go on, get out. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you that story, because we read that in the main. And like I said, I'm not an investor. I have nothing to do with it. I just love it because I think it's filling a really big niche and it's really well done. And when you go on their website, it's all color pictures, great photography.
I put my money where your mouth is as well. And
Did you?
I subscribed.
Good for you.
And they even sent me a book.
Yeah, I got a little gift too.
Yeah. Which was very nice.
Yeah.
I think that we should get one of their heavy hitters in.
I
on
agree.
The podcast one of these weeks.
And get the history of it.
Yeah. And maybe I thought it was a very well-kept secret, but maybe not because their Instagram account has tens of thousands of followers.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
Well, that's like me. I discovered it in the fall, and I was like, what is this? And, because and we'll talk about this in a second, there's so much bullshit on the internet, and I thought, is this one of these, just trying to fish you in websites so you look at their ads? And it's not.
Legit.
This week, there's a terrific article, and I know you're going to say, heard it, been there, done that, but I'm telling you, read this article. It's the century-long smoked meat legacy of Schwartz's Deli, how a Romanian immigrant's recipe and stubborn refusal to change built Montreal's most iconic sandwich. First of all, the picture is going to make you want to run to Schwartz's.
Oh, yeah. Look
As
at
you
that.
can see
Mano
there.
just brought it up on screen.
This is a fascinating article that I didn't know anything about. That there was a guy that started it like in 1919, the history of it goes all the way back to Turkey. And in 1908, a New Yorker named Hyman Rees opened Montreal's first deli on Saint Laurent. And then there's the story about Reuben Schwartz, who arrived in Montreal from Romania in 1921. Apparently was a bit of a piss tank. And
Reuben liked to have a drink.
Yeah, he liked to have a drink, and he liked the ladies.
Good for him.
And he nearly lost the restaurant. And in steps a Ukrainian-born violinist and composer named Morris Springer, the man who saved Schwartz's in 1931. And Morris Springer is featured in an NFB film called The Concert Man. It's like a half-hour National Film Board thing about how he saved Schwartz's, but he didn't want to admit that he owned the deli. It's a fascinating story about a Montreal icon that is typical of what the Main publishes. I just think it's such a terrific read and such a terrific story. And I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Montrealer, and I had no idea of any of this.
No, nor did I.
Just fantastic.
It sounds a little bit like investigative journalism meets historical documentation.
Yeah. It's called The Main. And if you go online, they give you a few free articles, but I'm glad to hear Ted has also put his money where his mouth is. We're supporters of The Main. We're not tied to it in any way, shape, or form. But I agree with Ted. We should have somebody in and talk about it because I think it's a terrific addition. And if you're listening to the podcast outside of Montreal and you want to stay in touch, reconnect. I know everybody does the Gazette, but you can go to The Main and get a lot of connection of what's going on in the city. They cover culture and nightlife and restaurants and history, and I think it's really well put together. And read that Schwartz's article if you're a fan of Montreal history. Now, you posted something, Ted, about the hogwash on the interweb. You were one of your angry Facebook posts.
Well, particularly on Facebook. Facebook is awash now in misinformation. And what it is it's websites that put up stories that are completely false, and they're clickbait.
And they use AI.
To
lure you in.
And people get lured in, and they click on it, and if the page gets enough clicks, it monetizes.
Yes.
So that's what they do. Yeah. They just make up bullshit stories to get you to click on them, and then they pocket money from you clicking on the story. So the one I posted last night was, I saw this, I think it's called Habs Territory.
Yeah, I blocked them already.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I reported them.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. They posted a story about Guy Carbonneau saying that he was in a critical health, was having a health crisis.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, because of a car accident.
Wow.
And they quoted his son, Justin Carbonneau. He doesn't have a son. He has 2 daughters. So basically, they're saying Guy Carbonneau's in a health crisis, and details in the article below. So you click on the article, and it's all about a car accident that Guy Carbonneau was supposedly in, which he wasn't. And the picture's from the summertime.
What kind of piece of shit do you have to be to be in a basement somewhere making up this stuff?
Somebody pointed out to me that a lot of these web pages are based in Asia. This one is based in Vietnam. Oh. And they're posting articles about the Montreal Canadiens to try to lure people in. They just want you to click on the story. And the stories are complete bullshit. And it's fine. If you want to make up a bullshit story about the Canadiens have traded Cole Caulfield to Toronto for Austin Matthews, if you want to put that bullshit story up there and people are gullible enough to buy into it, whatever. You can't really police that. But when you're putting up stories that are misinformation about people's health and well-being,
yes,
that's a bridge too far for me.
I think so.
And that's why I reposted that article and said, this is bullshit. Yeah. I've reported this website or this web page to Facebook for misinformation, and you should do the same. But it's just, there's so much of it.
Yeah, it's a tsunami of bullshit now.
And my mom got caught up in it. My mom's a big Montreal Canadiens fan, and she said to me, I keep seeing these stories on Facebook about the Montreal Canadiens, but I don't think they're true. Yeah. And I said, Mom, they're not true.
Good for her. Good for her for having an eye for it, because that's what that's one of the reasons I loved your post. One of the reasons I like that we're talking about it. Try and get a discerning eye about this kind of stuff, because if you look at it for more than a couple of seconds, you realize that's nonsense.
Yeah. And all you have to do is Google Guy Carbonneau and do a news Google search.
Yeah.
And that's what I did last night. I thought, I haven't heard anything about Guy Carbonneau having a health crisis. So I did a Google search on Guy Carbonneau. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
It's bullshit. It's made up.
Yeah. And they target sports, because people love sports.
Anything that's popular, sports and entertainment
and music. Exactly. Yeah. When I first started to see it was in the fall. I saw some kind of nonsense picture of Paul McCartney. I think it was Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen at the bedside of the dying Phil Collins. And I looked at the picture, and you can tell it had been created, that it was AI. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
And again, it was about someone's health.
And shame on Meta, the parent company of Facebook, for not cracking down on that.
Yeah.
That's their responsibility. They need to crack down on that, because if they don't crack down on it, the government's going to move in with censorship, and that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. They don't. You ever tried to report something on Facebook? They could give a shit.
Yeah, well, all the time. I'm constantly, something will come up that I'm not interested in, and am even marginally offended by, and I'll just click on the thing where it's, I don't want content of this nature.
Yes.
And I still keep getting it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm glad we brought this up. Do yourself a favor and keep your eyes peeled for
Be judicious.
Yes,
don't believe everything that you see, especially on social media.
Yeah. Jess and I were talking about it last night because they're, I don't want to wander into some of the things that we've seen online, But my favorite one of the last couple of weeks is Congress must act now. Says Randy in Dorval. Can I talk about something nice? Let me tell you something nice. It's nice, Ted. But first of all, can I have a Kleenex, Ted?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I don't want to do the...
I'll put them right in the middle there.
Thank you. I don't want to do the hockey thing, and I'm going to turn around while you sing.
I forgot my hanky. How about instead of singing, how about I talk about Accutech for a minute? Have they come up yet and started to...
I had an email exchange with Trish just yesterday, actually. We're getting ready to schedule. It was pushed back by my father's passing. But Tom has to come up and survey the premises.
Terry's getting a generator from Generac, which is the Cadillac of generators.
Yes.
And Accutech is, I don't know if you'd officially call them a Generac affiliated agent, but they work with Generac.
Yes.
And they know the lay of the land, and they'll help you get that thing in and working properly. Trish also asked me to mention that Accutech is looking to connect with interior designers and architects who are working on home renovations or new builds in either residential or commercial spaces. Designers, she says, are often the first people contacted when a renovation is being thought about, and they look to find good tradespeople to refer their clients to, and that's Accutech. As an electrical company, for them, architects and designers are great because they love to help them during the planning phase, to help with the artistic vision and how that connects with functionality and safety of electricals. And how many times have we said, when you want something done with electricity, don't call Uncle Al.
Yeah. Have any word on whether or not they're going to run with, we know where this
We
wire...
know what this wire does? We know what this wire is for? I don't think so. I think they're still mulling that one over.
Yeah, you want to hire a professional when it comes to electrical, and I'll let you know, because Generac is not something your Uncle Frank can put in.
No.
So I'll let you know when we get that done, probably in the coming weeks.
Accutech, ACUTECH.ca.
And I feel shame because I have not still gone to see our friends at Richer Jewelers.
You didn't go and buy me a birthday present at Robert Richer Jewelers?
I didn't. I'm very sorry.
What's the matter with you?
I forgot.
There's still time. Well, it's January 20. You could still buy me a nice something in garnet.
Oh, yes.
Since that's the January birthstone.
Oh, garnet.
You know what? More than one person commented on that last week that they thought it was very funny when you said dog garnet.
Garnet all to hell. Sorry, Linda. We're just having a little fun.
Linda has done a nice video on her YouTube channel. I want to say all about jewelry, all things jewelry, all things jewelry. I believe is Linda Richer's YouTube channel, and she did a whole thing on garnet, dog garnet. Yeah. And apparently, it's not just in red.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can get garnet in multiple colors. You can get multiple precious gems in multiple colors at Robert Richer Jewelers, or you can just go in and get a big fat diamond.
Yeah, or a chocolate bar.
Chocolate bars too, and they're free.
Yeah, chocolate bar. It's their little way of welcoming you to their beautiful shop.
You don't have to buy anything. Just go in, have chocolate bar, look around, meet them. Pierre and Linda and Carol, they're lovely, lovely people.
Yeah, it's about the experience of this lovely family-run business that we really, really like a lot. And thank you for going to see them, because I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast have popped in.
Yep.
Either to get a watch fixed or pick up one of the bracelets you're wearing.
I was going to say, you don't have to go in and buy something. No. You might have some jewelry that needs resetting, or you might have a watch that needs a new battery. Yeah. They do jobs big and small at Robert Richer Jewelers. They're at 309 Dorval Avenue in Dorval, just across the street from the island of Dr. Moreau.
It's hot over there. It's very hot.
You remember that movie?
I do, yeah. Brando was in that, I think. Was he?
Yeah. There was, what was her name who was in that? This was in the 1970s. She was so pretty, and I was like a teenager, and I was like, oh, I feel all tingly. What was her name? I got to look it up now.
Okay, you look it up. Go ahead. I'll sing a little song.
Would you?
I don't think
weren't you
so.
looking something else up while I was singing a song?
Normally, and by the way, we do prepare. Believe it or not, we
do. There is an element of preparation.
Yes, it's like when I was.
But these are things that have happened off the top of our heads.
Yes, when I was on the radio, people said you just walk in there and no, you don't do that.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, sometimes it sounds like it, but I actually have a legal pad in front of me with topics that I want to cover today. Sometimes we forget to look things up, and that's why we have our laptops open on the desk in front of us.
All right, I was thinking of a different movie. The Island of Dr. Moreau is 1996.
Okay.
I must be thinking of a different island or a different doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, what was her name? Jane? Was there an actress named Jane Seymour back in the day?
It's possible. You could Google that and find out.
That's true.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Okay. I want to tell a nice story about...
yes, sorry, it was Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour?
Yeah.
Okay.
She
That made you all tingly?
Yep.
Yeah. On Friday night last, as we record this, my cousin, Linda DiMonte, Linda Narducci, she's born a DiMonte, she's my cousin, celebrated her 80th birthday.
Wow.
And I was invited by her daughter, Nancy. Nancy and her husband, Marco, had a nice party at Cafe Gentile on Sources Road. Now, let me tell you something about Cafe Gentile. This place is so beautiful, and the food is so delicious. We had such a nice time. And Anthony, who's the grandson of the original, his grandfather opened Cafe Gentile just down here on Chabanel. And then Anthony opened up the one in Westmount, which is very, very successful. And now they've got the one on Sources, which is so good. It's such a beautiful spot. The food is so amazing. And they decided that that's where they were going to have the 80th birthday party for Linda. So my cousin Richard and his wife Mary and Nancy, as I mentioned, and Marco and Anthony is married into the DiMonte family. So there's a little bit of a connection. I don't know if that makes Anthony and me cousins by marriage, does it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about that.
No.
Anyway, off we went. And remember last week we were talking about, or the week before, 100 years ago, we were talking about Bill Brownstein's article about Grill Nature, Lou's in Point Claire Village, and Cafe Gentile on Sources. Well, now I've struck one of them off the list, and Jess and I cannot wait to go back. If you live on the West Island, or you're coming to visit family in the next coming months, go see the new spot. And oddly enough, it's in the old Karnak Temple building on Sources Road, just near Sources in Brunswick. And that building used to be a Ponderosa Steakhouse. Anthony and I had a nice long chat about that. When I was a kid, that was a Ponderosa Steakhouse. And now the building is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful restaurant. Cafe Gentile on Sources. Even if you don't live on the West Island, make it a stop.
You know who else turned 80 this week?
Who?
Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw you wish her and her breasts a happy birthday.
Yeah, her tits are only 40, but Dolly's 80.
And she's a pistol. Did you see the video of her getting the birthday cake from...
No.
Yeah, there was a video going around. I saw it on Twitter yesterday. It was a birthday cake and a bagpiper sent by Bono from U2. And she jumped off the couch like she was 28.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, she's a pistol, that one.
Yeah, and she's the first one to admit that there's not an original part left on her.
Yeah, she's got such a great personality. Yeah. And she does a lot of good. She does, eh?
Yeah, she's a philanthropist.
Big time. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Dollywood is very, very successful, and she's a big advocate for literacy. Spends lots and lots of her money on.
Good for her. It's
literacy.
Nice when someone with that kind of success and profile gives back like that.
Yes. Speaking of Twitter, would you like to do the Twitter shit?
Let us do that now, yeah? We're not going to do that.
All right.
The funny from Twitter this past week. Let's start with this one from @Kate Holes. Overnight Oats sounds like the name of a racehorse who sucks. And
Overnight Oats brings up the rear. Yep.
From @Mo Moeller, my uncle Daryl once pointed a gun at me because I told him my favorite heavy metal band was U2. Daryl was having no part of it. And from @Marv Salvador, date. I like it when guys know what they want in life. Me, megaphone right in her face. Ham.
Marv Salvador. That's a funny account. Do you stumble on these guys? Because I don't spend as much time as I used to on Twitter.
There's sort of, I've got kind of a list, a small list of guys, go-to guys, but I can use their accounts to find, like, they'll retweet other funny accounts that I might not have heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good story.
Yes. Here it is. Okay.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my Vatser.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Have you watched, do you have Prime?
I do.
Have you seen the movie The Tank?
I have.
Is it any good?
I thought it was really good right up until the end, and then I went, oh, that's fucking stupid.
There's a couple of movies lately I've watched, like series and movies. You get to the end and you go, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it all in German?
It's in German, so when you watch, make sure that you switch the soundtrack to German and then put on English subtitles. Because what happens a lot I find with these streaming services is they'll serve up the dubbed version right away. Yeah. So, and the dubbed version is never as good. It was like with that the Expos documentary.
Yes.
A lot of people said they didn't watch it because it was dubbed.
Yeah, because everybody looks like a wooden puppet who's talking out of turn. Yeah.
So you don't have to watch it dubbed. What you do is you go to your settings, and even I can figure that out. Yeah. You go to your settings, put the soundtrack on German and the subtitles on English.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, slow down, Einstein.
Yeah, I keep seeing the promo for it, and I wondered if you'd seen it because
I thought it was good.
WW11.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was stupid, but I thought the movie as a whole was good.
Accurate, do you think? Not that you were a German officer.
No. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's a German tank that goes way behind the Russian lines. And they wouldn't have lasted nearly as long as they did. No.
Behind the Russian lines?
Yeah, they go like way behind the Russian lines, and they're like clanking down the road in the middle of the day in a Tiger tank.
I encourage you to look for the commercial. It's a 3-minute commercial. This is something I found this week that I liked a lot. I'm a big John Mellencamp fan. I was a big John Mellencamp fan. In the 80s, I was a pain in the ass. I played John Mellencamp over and over and over again, even on the radio. I always got in trouble with my bosses because I would play tracks off the album that I wasn't supposed to play, because I loved John Mellencamp. And the guys at Polygram Records that John Mellencamp was signed to noticed that I was a big fan and got me tickets to see him in different places and got me backstage to meet him a couple of times. And every time he was an arse.
Really?
Yeah. I saw him at the Montreal Forum, which is one of the most memorable shows I've ever seen, because I was in like the 3rd or 4th row for this show at the Forum. And I was with a buddy of mine and a kid that I knew it's a long story, I don't want to bore you with it, but teenager at the time I knew was at the show, and he was sitting up in the, whites, I think, at the Forum. Anyway, towards the end of the show, because I'd seen Mellencamp before, we swapped tickets, and I let him sit in my seats. And Mellencamp's people noticed him and brought him up on stage. And it's something that we still talk about. My old friend Dust, we still talk about it. He's a lawyer in California now with kids of his own. But it was a very, very memorable night. And that night I went backstage with my pal. And we were brought into, it wasn't a backstage meet and greet. It was a backstage into his dressing room. Knock, knock, knock. Come in. And he was sitting with his feet up. He never wore shoes on stage. He was always in sock feet. And we walked in, and let's just say he didn't spring to his feet to welcome us.
No way.
And I showed him a book, and he autographed the book, and it was really kind of okay, so maybe he's crabby, maybe he's tired. Anyway, I saw him in Chicago, and the record company brought me to Chicago to see him, and brought me backstage again. Same thing. Went to see him at.
Did he remember you?
No. Went to see him at Farm Aid in 1985 in Indianapolis, and was brought backstage and got the brush off. Not now.
From him or his people?
From him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you follow along, he wrote a lot of great hit records. He wrote the soundtrack to the 80s, in my opinion. Little Pink Houses, Hurt So Good, Lonesome Jubilee, it goes on and on and on. And then he kind of tapered off, and I saw him in, I think it was 2011 at Place des Arts, and he opened the show with a film about himself. He came on, introduced himself, and showed a movie about himself, and then started to play, and he didn't play any John Mellencamp songs. He was doing Johnny Cash and Southern, and I left. And so for the last 17 or 18 years, he's been doing that. He's been painting. He's been releasing a lot of records that are, whatever. There's a tribute to these people that influenced him, whatever. And he can do what he wants. He's allowed to do what he wants. I get it. But it is boring to me. Anyway, all of that backstory to tell you, either he's running out of money or he's decided to stop that. And in 2026, this year, he's going on a greatest hits tour. So he's going to launch a concert tour, and he's going to play all his hit records. And on YouTube right now, there's a 3-minute commercial about the John Mellencamp 2026 tour. And it's so beautifully shot. And it's like a little movie. And Sean Penn's in it. Sean Penn is a friend of his, longtime friend of his. And it's a great way to announce what he's doing, which is, Sean Penn says to him at one point, just because they were hits doesn't mean they were shit songs. And he announces that he is going on tour, and the tour will consist only of the records you're familiar with. So I tell you that long-winded story to explain that I'm a big Mellencamp fan and to tell you he's going on tour. But I really, really want you to look at this commercial because it's really beautifully done.
He's also on Joe Rogan, or has been on Joe Rogan very recently.
Yeah, probably to hype the tour.
To hype the tour, yeah. And I saw a clip, and he looked like someone needs to give him a blanket and a bowl of soup. Yeah. He was actually, when you mentioned, you mentioned Sean Penn, I thought to myself, he looks a little bit like what someone said about Sean Penn on Twitter. He looks like his cartoon cigar just exploded.
Yeah, well, Mellencamp used to have cigarettes for breakfast.
Well, he still does.
So, yeah.
You can see he's smoking during the interview with Joe Rogan.
Plus,
he's a chain smoker.
Yeah, he's had a couple of heart attacks, and so I don't think he's aged very well.
No.
So anyway, he's hitting the road, and if you like cinematic things, this commercial is kind of fun. It's 3 minutes. It's like a little mini movie, and it's cinematic. It's terrific. Pardon me. Shall we talk about our friends at Playground before we talk about our recommendations?
Yes, we have to talk about Playground. We have to talk about Merson Automotive.
Yes.
Playground is where I'm going to take Allie Bird for her 18th birthday coming up in February. She's very excited about that. We're going to go to the steakhouse, etc. And then we're going to take 18-year-old Allie into the gaming area, and we've decided on blackjack, but I have to teach her how to play first. Okay. I don't know how well that's going to end because I'm not much of a blackjack player myself. 18, hit me! Not a good plan.
Yeah.
Playground on the 138 in Ganawage is the strip without the trip. Home to more than 65 poker tables, 1,200 electronic gaming machines, 3 outstanding restaurants. And the most important thing to know about Playground is before you go online to playground.ca and get your player's card. It's a quick and easy registration process. It doesn't cost anything. When you get there, you go to customer service, you pick up your card, another 2-minute exercise, and then you're on your way. That player's card gives you access to all of the perks and the benefits and the discounts available at Playground. Playground takes great pride, by the way, in ensuring that gambling at their establishment remains a form of entertainment that is both controlled and responsibly managed. They strictly adhere to all Ganawage Gaming Commission responsible gaming regulations, and they've implemented additional internal policies and procedures that go beyond regulatory requirements to protect patrons from problem gambling. Those measures are actively enforced and reflect Playground's ongoing commitment to player welfare, ethical operations, and responsible entertainment. Playground is a place to go and have fun. And every time I've been there, I've had a ball.
And a great meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the 138 in Ganawage, online at playground.ca, I would strongly suggest you go online first, take the online tour, and get your player's card.
I still got a thing hanging down, and my wife said to me this week, we're not going to Arnprior while that's still hanging down, so I got to go. I'm going to go to Merson's this week.
Yeah, he's talking about his car, by the way.
My friends at Merson's are going to put, I'm going to go there tomorrow, and they're going to put it up on the hoist for me, and they're either going to say, oh, Christ, or they're going to say, Dad, don't worry about it, we'll clip that off for you. And no matter what they tell me, I know they're telling me the truth. It's one of the things that I've loved about Merson's for years. I never worry when I take my car to Merson's and they tell me something's wrong. I know something's wrong. And if I say to them, I hear a funny noise on my brakes, and they say to me, your brakes are fine, I trust them. I feel good about driving away from Merson once they've finished with the car. They've been doing it for a very long time. Most of these past 30, 40 years in the same place, just past the corner of St. Jacques and Cavendish. They have an amazing staff, some of whom have been there for years, and they can take care of everything, including electric vehicles. This past week, my wife, who just bought an electric vehicle in the fall last year, got called into the dealership and got treated like shit.
No.
Yeah. And she was livid. And I said to her, we're not going back there. We're going to take the car to Merson's. You know, when you buy a new car, you want to go, you know, there's maintenances and warranties. Well, you don't have to do that. The Merson's can look after it. And the Merson's, first of all, don't treat anybody like that. And don't condescend like my wife was condescended to.
Boy, did they pick the wrong person there. Eh?
Did they
does
ever?
Not suffer fools gladly.
Yeah, did they ever? Yeah, they messed with the wrong person. Celso and Kara have told me they now have mechanics who have been trained on electric vehicles. They can handle it. So trust your vehicle to Merson. Whether you're having trouble with the cold weather or it's time for an oil change, go see the family at the Mersons. They'll look after your family. Merson Auto, it's mersonauto.ca.
Mersonauto.com.
Mersonauto.com, excuse me, just past the corner of St. Jacques and Cavendish, where they've been for a very long time and have been sponsors of ours for years and years and years, on and off the radio. So, okay, I want to read some of the mail we got. Okay. This came from Patrick. Hey, guys. Been really enjoying the podcast from Vermont since you began. Listened to you for many years while you were at Shome, and I find the new version of you every bit as enjoyable, entertaining, and informative. That's really nice, Patrick. Thank you. It came from Patrick Merriam in Vermont. I haven't been to Vermont for over a year, and I was just reading in the New York Times a piece about how Vermont's been hurt by the elbows up crowd. Have to get back and say hi to some of our friends in Vermont. Here's a nice note from Tom Leapins. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Tom. As you said last week, there are thousands of podcasts to listen to, but I stumbled across your show a few months back, and I now listen regularly. I lived in Montreal for 15 years, so I listened to Shome to and from work, excuse me, as I traveled the Décarie Trench. Great memories of Montreal, and you continue to tweak them with this podcast. When I'm done your show, I usually listen to Mitch Melnick, either live or on his podcast as well. I'm back home in Vancouver now, closer to family, but I really miss Montreal. Keep up the good work. Go Habs, go. That came from Tom. Thank you, Tom. And this last note, just going to take a sip of water before I read Bradley's note. Hey, guys, this is Bradley, Stephanie's husband. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, from Seattle.
Yes. I'm writing you because she got such a kick out of hearing her letter being read on the cast. And I just want to write American men and warn them about dating, marrying, procreating with Quebec women. They seduce you with their Tim Hortons and French black magic. And the next thing you know, you've been married for 17 years and you can't imagine life without her. She's had 3 daughters, pray for me, and she's hotter than when we started dating 20 plus years ago. You guys rock. Thank you for connecting her to her home, even for a little bit. Bradley Smith from Seattle, Washington. Bradley, I got a really big kick out of that. Fingers crossed for the Seahawks.
He's scoring big points there.
Is he ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're Black Magic and Tim Hortons coffee. Thank you very much for those notes. And you can send us, I'll give you the email address and stuff coming up. There's not a lot of recommendations coming your way this week. I caught up on Landman. Landman's been taking a shit kicking from the internet. I don't know why. Everybody's talking about there's too much family, too much whatever.
Well, you know what? They took a shot at the pronouns crowd and caused a bit of a stir.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good shot.
I thought it was terrific. It's Taylor Sheridan. Wait, he's not writing from the left point of view.
No.
In case you don't know. And I would watch Billy Bob Thornton read the phone book.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, I caught up on that. Highly recommend it still. And the internet, speaking of the internet, we've talked about this a couple of times today. I said to my wife, who was massive Stranger Things fan, I said, are we going to watch the Stranger Things documentary? And she said, I don't know. It's taken a real shit kicking on the internet. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, they say it's stupid and it's, they don't do this and they don't do that. And this goes back to Randy and Dorval, like Al and Sheila from Terrebonne have decided that the Stranger Things documentary is shit. And I said to my wife, we loved the show. We loved the show. Let's put it on. And she said, yeah, it was 2 hours. I said, yeah, well, let's put it on. If it's shit, we'll stop.
There you go.
And it was great.
Yeah.
If you love Stranger Things and you like the behind the scenes stuff that I love when someone lets you behind the curtain. If you're a fan of a show and somebody takes you on a tour of the set or talks about what went on during different episodes of MASH or The West Wing, I love that stuff. And Stranger Things documentary on Netflix is terrific.
Did one of their cast members host Saturday Night Live this past Saturday?
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a kerfuffle there as well,
Finn
I understand.
Wolfhard. Yeah. Well, again,
that sounds like a porn star name, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah. I know he's heard that before. Yeah, he's a Canadian kid.
Is he?
Yeah, he's out of Vancouver, and he did a fine job hosting. Mm-hmm. And what they did that caused the brouhaha, or one of the things that caused everything is a brouhaha now.
Of course it is.
As soon as, Al in Pointe-aux-Trembles sees something and doesn't like it, he goes online, right? So this past week on SNL that Finn was hosting, one of the things they did was they took Heated Rivalry, which is the hockey show about the gay hockey players.
Yep.
That's an international sensation. They used that premise and painted it on Harry Potter. So the Harry Potter universe, 2 of the main characters were portrayed as gay at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And a lot of the internet didn't like that.
Too bad. Was it funny?
It was hilarious.
There you go.
I thought it was great.
Well, that's Saturday Night Live's job, is to make people laugh.
That's right.
So if you don't like it, turn it off.
And I thought Finn Wolfhard did a great job. These kids that were on Stranger Things, I think, are going to have a hard time, like transitioning into adult roles.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong because a lot of people transition into adult roles. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of them.
Yeah, well, if you're a good actor, you'll get it done.
Anyway, my point is, if you love Stranger Things, watch the Stranger Things documentary. And I think I mentioned this last week. I'm not sure if I did or not. The podcast called In Depth with Graham Bassinger. Did I mention that last week?
So, yeah.
Yeah, with Ray Romano.
Yeah, with great guests.
Yeah, that's right. He has great guests, and he's terrific. And there's a new podcast out this week with these last couple of weeks with Martin Sheen. I started to listen. There's an episode with Martin Sheen and his son, Charlie. I started to listen today, and Didn't get all the way through it, so I'm reserving judgment.
I heard a podcast this week, and I thought to myself, I've got to recommend that on our podcast, and then I forgot what it was.
Okay.
But here's what I've got. I've got an Instagram account that I want to recommend.
Yes.
It's called Sock Puppet Master 99. Sock Puppet Master 99. And what it is it's actual police body cam audio of DWI stops, of the cops pulling over drunk people.
Yeah.
And it's set to really badly drawn cartoons.
Yes.
But very, very funny. So if you're watching online, you'll be able to see the cartoon. If you're just listening, it's still pretty funny. But this is police body cam audio of the cops pulling over a guy for drunk driving. And the whole account is just all clips like this. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think it's a scream.
Turner, that you have been arrested for driving under the influence of an alcoholic beverage.
I understand I've been driving under the motherfucking influence, but I understand that I wasn't also driving.
I'm going to ask you to try to do some physical performance tests.
I'm drunk. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I wasn't driving.
Let's do the physical performance test, please.
What physical performance?
Put both feet together.
All right.
Arms at your sides, head tilted back, and eyes closed. When I ask you to, are you watching me?
I'm watching
When I
you.
ask
I'm
you
watching you.
tilt your head back and close your eyes.
But you close your motherfucking eyes.
Sir,
Huh?
put your head back
If
and
you
close
can't
your
close
eyes.
your eyes, why I got to close my
Because
motherfucking
you
eyes?
are the one that's taking the test.
Huh?
Sir, are you refusing this test?
No. Yeah, I'm refusing the motherfucking test.
All right, he refuses the testing. Sir?
Fuck this shit. I don't want no goddamn shit. Hey, fuck the dumb shit.
Take a breath test?
What motherfucking breath test?
Take a breath test.
Hell no.
Sock Puppet Master 99. That guy reminds me of the old National Lampoon album. The guy, you ever have Egg McMuffin? Sometimes, Dad, or cheese piranhas. Can you say Egg McMuffin? Egg muffin, yeah.
I'm guessing that doesn't go over big in court.
No. Guilty, Your Honor.
Let's just jump to guilty. I guess that's it for this week's episode of the Standing By podcast. I want to say, please go visit terryandtedpodcast.com. I'll tell you.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll sleep. terryandtedpodcast.com is where you can leave us a note, send us an email. You can see all the episodes that you may have missed there. And we would love if you would subscribe to the Standing By YouTube channel. Standing By the podcast. If you go to the website, it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. And we have like almost 700 subscribers now. So
we're doing pretty good
for
for
us.
a
That's
little
pretty
local
good.
podcast.
Yeah, we're short a couple. If you go there this week and bump us over 700, we'd be deeply appreciated of that.
Appreciative.
Yeah, we'd be appreciative of that. A little Quebec came out in me there. You can follow us, Terry and Ted Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram. You can also find my account and Ted's account on Twitter. And if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that helps us a lot. It helps other people discover the podcast as we try and grow the podcast. As I say every week, there are thousands of podcasts, hundreds of thousands, and we deeply appreciate you listening to ours. Again, my thanks to Mano for production. My thanks to you for listening to the podcast, and deep gratitude from my family, my mom, my brother, and my sister, and the rest of our family. Deeply appreciated your kindness and your condolences on the passing of my dad. And I'd also like to thank the executive producer of this podcast, Jessica Dion, who also happens to be my wife, who has been there to catch me as I've stumbled in these last couple of weeks. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Standing By podcast.
Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast, is hosted by Terry DiMonte and Ted Bird and is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. The executive producer of Standing By is Jessica Dion.